Delaware gun owners and firearm dealers need to be paying very close attention right now. Today, Delaware lawmakers will be hearing Senate Bill 300, a piece of legislation that many gun store owners are calling the FFL Killer Bill. Supporters claim it's about increasing oversight and accountability for firearm dealers, and critics argue it's something very different, a massive expansion of government regulation that could force many smaller gun stores completely out of business. So what exactly does this bill do? First, it creates an entirely new state licensing system for firearm dealers. If you have a federal firearm license, or FFL, you'll now have to obtain a separate Delaware state license in order to continue selling firearms. But that's just the beginning. The bill imposes a long list of new requirements that go far beyond what most other retail businesses are required to do. Gun stores would be required to install and maintain security alarm systems, digital surveillance systems covering key areas of their business, comply with new firearm storage regulations, maintain extensive inventory records, submit new data to the Delaware State Police twice every year, and undergo regular inspections. Dealers would also have to report information about ATF inspections, firearm traces, lost or stolen firearms and ammunition, employee changes, inventory records, and much more. The Delaware State Police would be authorized to inspect firearm dealers at least once every 2 years and conduct additional inspections during business hours to ensure compliance. But the bill does not stop there. Employees, contractors, and even volunteers who have access to firearms may be required to undergo background checks and state approval training programs. Dealers and responsible persons would face reoccurring background checks as well. And if a dealer violates certain provisions of the law, penalties could range from warnings to civil fines of up to $3,000 or even complete revocation of their license. Without that license, they're out of business. Now, supporters of this legislation argue that these measures are necessary because they believe stronger dealer oversight can reduce illegal firearm trafficking and lower crime rates. They point to studies and crime gun trafficking data that suggest states with stricter dealer regulations experience fewer firearms entering criminal markets. But opponents see it differently. They argue that federally licensed firearm dealers are already among the most heavily regulated businesses in America, and that SB 300 piles on expensive new mandates, paperwork requirements, surveillance obligations, inspections, and compliance costs that many small gun stores simply can't absorb. Critics warn that large retailers may be able to handle these costs, but smaller family-owned gun stores could be forced to shut their doors. And that's why many Delaware gun owners are referring to SB 300 as the FFL killer. Whether you support it or oppose it, there's no question that this legislation would dramatically change how firearm dealers operate in Delaware. The hearing is scheduled for today, June 10th, and the outcome could have major consequences for firearm retailers and gun owners across the state. So what do you think? Is this reasonable oversight, or is it another example of government regulation being used to squeeze lawful firearm businesses out of existence? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below.